Okay, guys, what is going on? This is Travis P11, and we are just getting started right now. I don't know. Do you guys have any video on your end? We'll see what's going on here. Hey, it's loading. There we go. There we
I
go.
see some crazy guy on my camera. Is he supposed to be there?
Yeah, that is definitely me. I am broadcasting from the central woods of Nebraska, the woods of central Nebraska. So I'm out in the middle of the sticks right now. You can't find me. So this is how I do this. It's much better than seeing the rest of my basement. So, okay, guys, I want to welcome you to Caliber Corner. Today we're going to be talking about some budget guns. But before we get into that, we're going to let the panel go ahead and introduce themselves. So, AWAG, you're on point.
Hey, I'm AY 1000 coming to you from the middle of the Pine Barrens in the no fun zone known as New Jersey.
Oof. Oh, man. All right. Hey, do you want to plug? You got any channels you want to talk about or any videos or anything you're working on right now? It doesn't have to be gun related.
Well, my channel right now is AWAG 1000. It's the one that looks like the AK muzzle brake. That one's my current one. So go subscribe there if you want.
All right, cool. All right, up next we got my personal hero, Jay Dalton. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey, I'm Jay Dalton. I'm from Ohio, where it's rain and cold or hot all the time. So.
Just like Nebraska. Jay, you want to talk about your channel a little bit? I've been watching you for years now, and I'm just kind of cool to be able to give you some payback, let you join me on this podcast, and have you show up and stuff. What
do you want to know, or what do you want to talk about? We're going to talk about.
What do you try to? Yeah, for your videos, what do you try to focus on? What is there kind of a general theme when you do your videos? Because I mean, you seem to have a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Definitely, I try to stick to a theme, and I just try to, which is the hard part, is definitely test the guns thoroughly before actually giving an opinion on them. But you either like me or you hate me, because if there's a bad part about the gun or whatnot, I talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So some people that are fanboys, they might not like that. So.
What's been really cool is a lot of your high point tests that you did. The one with the motor oil is definitely a classic. Years before Mac was doing the gauntlet, Jay here was doing his own little torture testing on the high points, and it pulled through, man. It pulled through surprisingly.
It's cool. Surprisingly a good gun for what you pay for it. I mean, it really is, and that's honestly how I got my start here on YouTube, was trying to figure out how to make them run and make them more reliable. And I started making videos, and it just kind of grew and grew, and next thing you know, it was out of control. So
that's awesome. Very cool. And last but not least, I finally get to say it to you once. Night Strike. Go ahead and give us a plug, man. What do you want to say?
Don't miss Hit or Miss every Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock. And Jay, I have to ask, are you the original source that outed FireClean?
I lost him. I didn't hear anything.
He missed it.
Yeah. Ask. What would you want to ask?
I said, are you the original source that outed FireClean for being vegetable oil?
No, I am not.
Nope. But you did an interesting test about the frog lube. You did a frog lube versus what, Jay? You want to talk about that? I don't know if a lot of people have seen that video. It's pretty cool.
Well, I heard rumors and speculations that frog lube started life as coconut oil, and I did some comparison, and most, especially the paste, but there are some differences. Frog lube definitely, it don't solidify back up like frog glue does. So there's definitely something different in there. Just don't know what.
It's probably Crisco and coconut oil.
Let's see here. Oh, okay. Now, Nice Strike, they're saying that the video is not working on the gun channel side.
No, I just checked it. It's good.
Okay, I think you have to click on the link in order for it to run. You have to click on the little triangle to get it to start playing.
Yeah, it is running, so I don't know what.
Okay, yeah, you have to go to Caliber Corner. It's not on Ordinary Average Guy Gun Channel. It's on the other channel. So we should be good. If you go to Caliber Corner, it's there under podcasts. So yeah. And if you have any problems, you can go ahead and send your frustration and emails to nightstrike1 at
gmail.com.
gmail.com. There we go. He's my web administrator. So right. Yes. Well, hey man, guys, let's go ahead and let's see who's out there. We got John Z in the house. Ooh, AC just joined in.
Showed up.
Grim 90s there.
And we've got your sponsor, SS Pawn Shop.
SS Pawn, man. Yes. Stan is always loaning me all kinds of fun little toys, and I just posted a video last night for an interesting little piece that I cleaned up, and I'm hopefully going to take it to the range. You have to check my channel to see what that's all about. Okay, John says we're looking good right now. Darren's here. Darren's my buddy, man. He's one of the guys that won one of the drawings. So there we go.
And then we got
Jared's here. Oh, everybody's joining in now.
Yeah, everybody's jumping in now. So
cool. Well, I want to just go ahead and start. We were going to start off with our favorite sub. I know I said $300 originally, and talking to Jay last night, he said, I've got some good go-to-war or full-size duty pistols that you can pick up for under $400. And it's like, $100 more than $300. You can definitely get yourself some very nice pistols. So I've got a list here that we were just going to burn through. And Jay, I'll let you talk about any of yours anytime you want. So Bez, yeah. Oh, I think you're
turn the YouTube page off.
Oh no, you just got to pause your video and then you can watch the chat the whole time. Yeah, Jay's new on this one. This is his inaugural podcast on my channel, and he just has a couple posted right now. So sorry, we're getting this all figured out, man. It's all good. It's when it completely implodes that we panic. So
I'm the veteran podcaster here. All
yes,
right.
you are. Yes, you are. You're the granddaddy of this whole thing. So yeah.
Okay, so my first ones that I started listening was essentially like full-size service duty, something you could definitely trust your life to if we had like a fallout, or something you could just buy to add to your firearm cache or hide in a second location. So the first one being, which I guess I gotta tell you about it, is the SIG SP 2022 that I just picked up.
Whoa, that's under $400?
419 actually, so it's borderline.
Borderline. It's a little over borderline.
Well, no, we're going to go within $20 or $25 because you can get a sale price on one, and you might pay $50 more than I did. Like I said, Cabela's is asking $300 for a CPX2, but I can buy one locally at my guy for $220, $230.
I'm staying under the line because I'm sticking to the actual subject. So
well, most of the other pistols are within that range. We were also going to say that, including say rebates. That was a big one because we were going to talk about the shields, because you can get them for $220, $250, $249, and they're over $300, which $300 was going to be my cutoff. So, Jay, tell us a little bit about that SP 2022. What do you like? What do you not like?
There's not much. The one thing I don't like, I can tell you right now, is the position right here of the slide lock. Mm-hmm. With having a thumbs forward grip on it, the gun is having issues locking back, which is all user error. So I have to learn how to reshoot, regrip. So that's the only downside to it. All in all, I mean, it's a SIG, and I know it's $419. It's a little over the budget line that we were talking about, but $419 for a 6 hour, it's still budget.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's, because I remember I was watching your video that you recently posted on. You were talking about that, slide release being an issue, and talking about there's a workaround to get that. Now, what do you like about it? What do you think about accuracy? Is it worth the premium?
It's definitely worth it. A double action, but if you're going to make a double action gun, it needs to be like this.
That's it. That does it.
So
cool.
I'm accurate in a double action, which is really surprising because I hate double action, but I'm surprisingly pretty good at it.
Awesome. Hey, Nice Strike, what do you want to recommend? What do you recommend as a good sub $300 pistol? We were talking about this before the chat. What you got one that I'm considering buying? I know Matt was considering buying one over at Never Enough Ammo. What do you got?
Which one do you mean?
Oh, the Beretta.
Oh, the Beretta. Oh,
yeah, why don't you talk about? There's a lot of guys that see that pop up on that Classic Firearms email.
I don't. While Classic Firearms is good, when these came to the United States, they weren't the only source. Mm-hmm. I'll turn the camera back on just for a minute.
It's like J&G supplier.
Everybody had them.
Atlantic. Okay.
Everybody had them, but there it is. And I'll get my finger off the trigger so the gun tards don't have a shit fit. But
that's cleaned up really nice. I mean, how's it been? Have you had any issues at all with it whatsoever?
Yeah, but it's mostly just been user error.
Okay.
I haven't had any hiccups. There's also the factor that I did have to replace the slide because the slide on it was bad. So you can see there's no firing pin block because the Beretta 92S was built before the M9 92 FS. So the 92S does not have the firing pin block or the firing pin block lever. So if you need a replacement slide, your only solution is to buy an M9 slide, which is probably cheaper than getting a 92 FS slide, and then just putting all your guts for your 92S into it and not putting in the firing pin block assembly because it doesn't need it. It's held in place by the extractor.
Okay. And those slides, that's one thing I noticed about slides. eBay has really cut back on what they sell for firearms, but you can still get slides on eBay. I mean, they got them for the Taurus PT92, they got them for the M9,
But the Beretta 92S, you can still get, if you want the pristine model, then get the hand-picked from Classic Firearms for like $300 something. But if you just want a no-holds-bar, you don't mind if it's got a little holster wear, you don't mind that it's a little dinged up. If you just want a functioning good piece, get it from Southern Ohio Gun. It's like $279.
There you go. Jay, do you have any experience with Southern Ohio Gun Company? Have you ordered from them at all?
Not at all.
Okay. Might be one to check out. They might be in your neck of the woods or might be a couple hours away. So if they have a store or something.
Southern Ohio, I got my Savage Model 10. That's my F-class gun that I use. So I'm pretty happy with it. They're pretty good prices.
AWAG, shifting over to you, what do you recommend for like a sub $400 pistol? Do you have any recommendations, or what are you looking at? Anything you've researched, or what would you think?
I am waiting for a permit for a CZ52.
Oh, I had one of those in college. They are beastly little guns, man. Doesn't that fire the same round as the Tokarev, if I'm not mistaken? Yes. One of the Tokarev variants. Was it 762 by 25?
Yes, by 25, and it's a roller delayed blowback handgun.
There, and I got to ask you, man, about what's the ballpark area for one of those? What are you gonna expect to pay for one? Not counting your permit fees and stuff. $350?
Permit fees, yeah, around $350. But the permit itself is like $50 in New Jersey. It's a pain in the butt.
Per gun.
Yeah.
Per gun.
You only get one gun every 30 days.
Oh my God, that's crazy. If you do that, you need to do some evening shoots or some nighttime videos with that. The muzzle blast on that thing is amazing. So, and ammo, you got to kind of look around at Tokarev ammo. I know that Privy Partisan makes it, but I have a little bit of trouble finding it locally. It's something I'd have to definitely order. I don't even know if like Cabela's carries it or anything like that. I don't think I've seen it there.
Well, the Cabela's in my house is in Delaware. They have Tokarev from PPU.
Yeah.
Apparently they have some from American Eagle.
Whoa. Well, with the rise of these surplus guns, I could see a lot of these calibers going back into production. That's not out of the way. And Jay, the pistol I was going to talk about, and you've got a lot of experience with this. You put more rounds through yours than I think anybody else I know. A lot of guys are buying the Shields right now, 9, 40, 45 because of the rebates. They're advertising the heck out of it. I think it's through June 1st you can still get the rebate. What are your experiences with the Shield? The 9 and the 45? Talk to me.
Well, I absolutely love the Shield, in my opinion, for a carry gun. I think it's one of the single stacks that's going to hold up to a lot of rounds. I've owned, there's 140 and I have a 45 now as well. The one I currently have has well over 10,000 rounds to it, and it's still running routine. Now, with that said, if you watch my video on the 45, it is currently at the factory right now.
What was it doing?
I can chalk it up to junk ammo because I was running Federal aluminum and steel case. I kept getting what they call slide lock early, where essentially I had like a half shot mag and it would lock back like it was empty. But that wasn't the disturbing part. The end of the recoil spring, that little cap part, it kept walking itself out. So I figured with both issues, I called them up. They were extremely friendly. No problems. Emailed me a packing slip, and it's free. The gun's sitting there. I checked on the status. It's currently waiting to be repaired, and it'll be shipped back. So I guess we'll continue the saga after I get the gun back and see if they fixed it. So
Okay. Yeah, that really surprised me. Just as many of those as they've sold, and they're product engineering, but any gun's a tool. Any tool can fail, So
well, here's the thing: the 45, even though it is a shield, it's on a new platform because everything on that gun is slightly bigger in the recoil spring. So it's the same badge as the older guns, but internally it's different. It's all got different parts, and if you look on the internals, components and trigger bar and everything's marked 45 shields. So it is different.
And it's only been out for a year. So.
And you're bound to have issues with a new gun. So.
Oh man, yeah, that's true. You don't know what you're going to run into. All right, so the shield is my option. Something to consider. That they can be reliable, especially the 9. What was your second one? What was your next one on your list, Jay?
Well, this might cause some controversy, like you were talking about earlier, but we're not here to talk about politics or religion.
No. What he's going to mention? Yeah. Go ahead, man.
SARS. And I know there's a lot of controversy about Turkish-made firearms, but
which one?
You're on a budget. Canik and SAR.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of controversy. I've read the forums and stuff about Turkish-made and terrorists and everything else. But if you're one guy that's looking to buy your first gun and you want something that you can depend your life on, with all of that put to the side, the Caniks and the SARs are a hell of a gun. There's no getting around it.
And I was looking it up, and the TP9, I think it's the SF, is the official sidearm of the Turkish police force for the country. Not so much with their military, but I've seen military carry them in video. I've seen on the news and stuff. You see a lot of Canik firearms floating around there. 349, sometimes 300. I think an original TP9 SA I've seen them as low as 299, but typical 349 is what you pay for an SF. And you get 2 or 3 mags, a holster, out of the box.
Yeah.
So
and you get the ISO 9000 industry standards for quality and something you can depend your life on.
Yeah.
$400.
Yeah. Nice Strike. What about you? What would you recommend for another decent budget price gun? What else can somebody go out there and get? Or is there something you've been looking at, or something you could recommend?
Actually, yes, I have been looking at it. We've talked before about it in match chat, even in my chats too. But the European American Arms Company that makes they started bringing in those revolvers from Germany, from what is it, Ryrock?
Oh yeah, that's actually on my list. The Windicator.
The Windicator. But I'm gonna say, don't get the 38 special version. If you're gonna get a Windicator, be a man. Get the 357 Magnum. It can use both 357 Magnum and 38 special.
And get the 4-inch barrel. Don't get the snubby. I mean, depending on your application, but
I don't know. I've been looking at getting the snubby just because the factor that if you get the snubby, you can find the snubbies for I just went and looked one up from Richie's Outdoor. You can get one for $270 if you get the snubby.
Yeah, the 4-inch model, I can get one locally here at SS Pond for I think $325.
Yeah,
which is that's pretty much on par. That's actually lower than a lot of the competition.
The actual the 4-inch, I was looking at it. The cheapest I've seen it's like $315.
Yeah, that 315, 325. That, and I've taken 2 357 mags out to the range, and I don't find the recoil as punishing as a 44 mag. Obviously, I think it's a very accurate round. I love it's such a good shooting round, such an accurate shooting round.
For anyone doesn't know, I'm always on a damn budget because I'm a cheap ass. So I always go for the cheap milsurps, or I go and look for the absolute best deal on firearms online if I'm buying online. Just because of the factor that I don't have a lot of money and I want to stretch my dollar as far as I can.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people do, and and the thing is, they'll take to YouTube videos for information, and you really got to read forums. You got to do more than watch a 20-minute video on somebody who's pushing a gun. I've been burned a couple times now on a few guns that I bought and that have not turned out the way that I thought they could. This is okay. There's a translation. The CPX2 in Spanish, it's caca. Caca is Spanish for CPX2. So yeah, we'll get to that later. Guns not to recommend. I'm pissed. All right, so let's move on. AWAG, another pistol, man. Can you recommend something else? Anything you're considering getting around sub $400 range?
That you
What are
can
you
own
interested
in
in?
Jersey.
At my local gun shop before the CZ52 caught my eye, I was looking at a Bulgarian 94 DA. I think it's called an Arcus.
Arcus, yeah.
Yeah.
That was coming in after tax at $398.
I've seen those for $299.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, okay, like I'm
But
looking
you know,
at classic,
it might just be that it's the that's the New Jersey tax they're adding on.
yeah, you might be paying a little bit more because I've seen them like no more than $349. You start getting that price, you start looking at XLEO Glocks and Shield or Smith & M&Ps.
Because I remember like 6 months ago seeing them on Classic Firearms for like $219 and $249, depending on whether you wanted the stainless steel or the 2-metal finish, or you just wanted it all blued. All blued, it was like $249. 2-tone, it was like $219.
Well, yeah, you got to shop around a little because, like I said, I'll rip on some of these big box gun stores. Not all of them, but a lot of them will charge you full retail. You know, the retail list price on it or whatever, and it's like, whoa, that's a little up there. Well, yeah, Nice Trick, you had experience with that. What wasn't there one you were looking at? They wanted like $700 for.
This is my local gun shop, and there used to be another gun shop in town, and he decided he wasn't getting enough business, so he went to another town. But the issue is the guy that's been here forever is a real asshole. And you know that 1911 I got? It's an ATI Firepower Extreme 45 military. So it's the full size 45 ACP model. I went to go and look to see if he had one. He did, but he wanted $700 for it. The MSRP on it was like, I think, $499 from, if you checked it with ATI. And then I looked at PSA, and PSA says, hey, we've got it on sale for $299. So I bought it from PSA, had him ship it to, the FFL pawn shop guy right near my house, and instead of going all the way in town and trying to deal with that jackass, and the pawn shop guy says, I'll do transfers for you all day long, just have them shipped to me.
Yeah.
And I said, deal. So
yeah,
there you go.
Jay, what's next on your list? Jay, you had mentioned, you mentioned the SAR BP9, the SAR Smalaz, and then we also talked about the Canic. We kind of group them together, but you said that BP9 loosely influenced by the CZ75. We had mentioned that.
Right.
What was the next one on your list? What was the next one you wanted to move to?
The Smith & Wesson SD 9 or 40, preferably 9 VE.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I know you have experience with it. I have experience with it.
Yeah.
Although the trigger might not be the greatest in the world, you can overcompensate for that. And if you can master that trigger, you can master anything else on the market. And
yeah.
I know you had issues with your recoil spring, and we were talking about this. I never gave that recoil spring a chance. I immediately jumped into the Galloway 20-pound recoil spring.
I did the same thing.
I had the full Apex kit on mine, and I had probably 3,000 or 4,000 rounds to that gun by the time I was done with it, and ended up trading it for something else.
Internally, I don't own an M&P, and I've only fired a couple M&Ps. Is it is the lower similar to an M&P or not? Or is it different? Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay. I thought maybe it was just like thinner polymer and just less machining on the slide. So
no, there's internally, as far as the lower, there's just a lot less going on.
Okay.
And then the slide is essentially a Glock copy, except for the extractor. So
wasn't there?
How they keep the on that, and then also there's no finish on the stainless steel, and it's got a plastic rear sight. Which, for those that don't know, you can actually buy M&P sights and put on your SP. So
you know, you can get into it on a budget and you can slowly work yourself up. I'm going to say right out of the box, just replace the guide rod with the Galloway unit. I was not impressed with how flimsy the plastic guide rod was. I mean, it was like I could flex it with my fingers. Like I could flex the back that goes up against the lug on the barrel. And I'm like, oh, this ain't happening. And right out of the box, after cleaning it, I was having failure to return to battery. I was having failure to eject. After put the Galloway unit in, it's like night and day, man. That sucker fired with some authority.
Yeah. No, I definitely recommend it. You know, like I said, I think it's one of them guns. You know, hey, if I had it on my side, I wouldn't feel the gun wasn't going to go off, or it wasn't going to function, or feel underpowered. Because I mean, it's coming in at 16 shots, so that's pretty significant firepower, and you get 2 mags in the box. So I mean, that's a heck of a value. You know, what I mean, it really is nowadays. So
I was impressed with the quality of the magazines. They've got kind of that. They're they're not a stainless. Are they stainless steel mags? I mean, they're shiny. They're durable. You're thinking, oh, it's going to be like, you know, cheap mags because it's a cheap gun. They're solid, man.
Yeah, I think it's a stainless steel with like a kind of like a chrome.
Looks like a galvanized
sort
or
of
something.
finish.
Yeah.
The one downside to that gun is the mags come in about $30. So you're buying a value enhanced firearm with like expensive magazines. So that's something to consider when buying the gun too.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely, and I think they had rebates on those. You can pick one up for, can you get one as low as $250 maybe? After the rebate, or the $260, $275? Or would they do
after the rebate?
Okay, so that's definitely.
I think they come in right around the $300 mark, and Smith & Wesson's doing $25 back. So
okay. Yeah, you can't. I don't think you can go wrong with one of those. Like you said, aside from the trigger, which you can learn to work with the trigger on any gun. I mean, I've learned how to work with the CPX2, which has a lot of people consider it the most atrocious trigger in production. So it's more like a double action pistol. So if you can get used to the CPX2 trigger, and we'll get on the CPX2 in a little bit. All right, Nice Strike. What do you think? You got another one? Anything else you'd like to share on a budget pistols?
Yeah, I've got a whole.
Go ahead, man.
I got a whole bunch of them actually.
All right, what do you got? What's next on your list?
Well, since we already talked about my 1911, which by the way, those are going for the cheapest I've seen them online right now. It's not $299, but it's still a damn good price. You can get those 1911s, the same model I have, for $349.
That's getting into Rock Island Armory territory. Yeah.
For 1911, that's not a bad price.
No,
it's not.
Especially for one built a little better than Rock Island. Because it is heat treated. I went and contacted ATI. The not only is the slide heat treated, but also the frame. So ATI says it's better than the Rock Island. So I'll take their word for it.
Where are those made? Not that I really care, but I'm kind of curious. I don't know much about ATIs.
The Rock Islands are made by Arms Corps in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Okay, but ATIs are made by Shooter Arms Manufacturing in the Philippines, where they've actually got an actual manufacturing plant. I believe it was either Military Arms or somebody else went and actually took a factory tour because Shooter Arms said, hey, go ahead, come visit our factory. We'd love to give you a tour.
Okay.
So, they're well, the video, the workers didn't seem too keen on being videotaped, but they were probably just busy with their work and didn't want to be disturbed. So I can see where they might have gotten a little annoyed, but the owners were like, sure, come on in, check it out. But, there's also, what else? If you don't know, Classic Firearms has the Yugoslavian M57 Tokarevs in the original Tokarev cartridge for $199.99.
Oh, I thought they were $299. Yeah, I remember seeing that. That would be another one to consider too. Yeah.
Yeah, even though it's in the Tokarev cartridge, the 7.62 by 25, but the issue is, two bills for a Tokarev. That's not bad.
You can maybe go through it and give it a once over. What's that, AY?
For the price point, and you can probably get 2 of them.
Have a parts gun. You go through it and maybe give it, kind of go through it and maybe finish it out a little bit more, go through some of the rough edges and polish it up a little bit. You might have a smoother shooter than what you get.
But remember, since they are a Tokarev and, the ATF has been a little iffy on stuff, you will have that added safety in there because they didn't originally come with safeties, but they've got safeties on them, so be aware.
And I'm not going to say you should do anything to it, but you can remove the safety. I mean, there are guys that are there's comments in Classic or on Classic Firearms website where they say, yeah, safety was causing problems. I went ahead and removed it.
Warning: we are not responsible for anything you do with your guns. You are solely responsible for whatever happens to you and your guns if you modify them.
Yes.
But know this: you can remove the safety. It will still work. But the factor is the safety is there because the ATF says you need to be safe. And I am doing this in the whole air quotes with, the 2 fingers.
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds like the intro to my trigger drop videos.
Oh yeah, it's like, if you do this, don't come after me. It's like, I don't have any money to give you anyway, so don't sue me. You ain't gonna hear me wasting your time, bro.
We are not responsible for you blowing your hand off because you didn't assemble it right, okay?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
like,
right.
well,
I'm just saying, if you get one.
What are you going to sue me for? What, like Rocky Balboa said. I have a comment here on my
Okay.
a viewer named Daniel said that the Remington R51 has a $100 rebate, so you can get them right around the $400 mark after the rebate. So that's something to keep in mind too.
I mean, while Remington's not bad, but the issue is, I don't want a Freedom Group. Their quality in guns, especially, the 870s have been shit ever since Freedom Group bought Remington.
You're right. Yes, they are.
So I'm not going to take, I would rather much better take my chance on a Philippine-made 1911 than chance a Remington Freedom Group R1 and have that blow up in my hand.
Another one that really caught my attention, I'm just sitting here thinking, God, I mean, and I know the RP9, they were selling them for $299. $299. Who was it? Was it PSA that was selling them for $299? I think it was right out of the no rebates or anything, and they had 2 or 3 mags with them. But what is the reliability in the RP9? Does that have issues?
I need to say one last thing, Jay. I wasn't trying to jump down your throat, man. I'm just saying, I was just commenting on your comment, all right?
Yeah, that's fine. I was just I'm trying to interact with the viewers over here, and somebody just suggested that, so I thought I would jump in. But yeah, I would agree with you on the Remington quality. For those that don't know, I retail guns for a living. That's how I pay my rent. And complaining about the slug barrels on the 870, and then we all know what happened with the R51, and then now they have that new RP9, and we're playing the Travis's. Honestly, I would never probably even get into how reliable that gun is because it just feels stupid. I'm sorry, but the ergonomics on that gun is. We have them in the display case at work, and I have zero interest in that gun. Zero. I don't like it.
Now, Jay, I want to let people know you have gunsmithing experience. So when you're talking about fit and finish and quality, you've done gunsmithing videos. So guys, those of you that are watching that don't watch this channel, I do trust your opinion on these things. When you talk about fit and finish and having to go, because I mean, you'll go through a gun and say, hey, let's look at all the things that I don't like about it, and you'll go through, you'll look at the finishing on it and the machining, and it's like, man, I never really look at guns in that kind of an angle. So again, it's your opinion. When you talk about fit and finish, I mean, the RP9 interests me, but if it's out of whack or something, I'm not interested in it at all.
And I have to have some kind of interest in the external before I get into the internal. And honestly, like I said, that RP9, it's a one look, and I'm done. There's something when I grab a hold of it, there's no, I don't want to say it, any kind of appeal to it. You know what I mean? I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And I know it's being biased because I've never shot it or took it apart, but it's just something about it that just don't turn me on. That's the word I'm looking for. It just don't turn me on.
Okay.
So what Mike Strike said, their quality is just. The 870 used to be their go-to, probably their breadwinner, and is even going downhill. I sold a gun to a guy the other day, and he came back and said, I wish I would have listened to you and got the Mossberg. He said the slug barrel on this 870 sucks. So,
another one to look at too, it's part of Freedom Group, and I'm kind of, this is a sad, kind of a sad turn for a gun company, but the Marlin 336, I've got a 1990 production 336 CS. And I'll look at the new ones in Walmart, and they've got that flat black finish on them. And I'm sure I know they work fine, but I'm just saying if you take those two guns apart and compare them side by side, I think you're going to see fit and finish issues. Consider going pre-Freedom Group when it comes to some of those rifles, you know?
What's the deal with that? What is that? The Hudson handgun? People were like losing their mind at SHOT Show with that thing.
Has a new recoil management system in it that's supposed to make it a dream, but they're retailing at what, $1,200, $1,500?
Yeah. Yeah.
It has like go ahead.
Yeah. No.
You get the ergonomics of the 1911, but you've got, I don't know, I know it's a stupid question. Is that a double stack or is it a single? I'm looking at it right now online, and it has a different recoil system that's supposed to be completely different departure. It's all contoured and almost like melted down, and you do get the 1911 ergos. That's one of the big ones. Yeah.
So Travis, when are we going to get into your favorite budget gun, the one you don't have anymore?
Which one is? We'll get it. Okay, now we're gonna start to move down the price point a little bit. So AWAG, you mentioned one more AWAG, and then there's one that Jay and I are gonna talk about real quick because I got to get it out there. It's one of my favorites. AWAG, you got one more on your list?
All right. The old Nagant revolvers.
Yeah. All right.
Those are hard to find.
Well, no, they can. You can get them, but the fact that they're what $100 a year ago, and now they're $300. Now there is another revolver you could consider. Jay, you picked one up. What do you think? There's a good budget price revolver that's out there that's going to be in the $200 range, $250.
The Rock Island M200 and 206. I own the 206, which is the stub nose. And it's a solid gun, and it's a 6-shot over a 5-shot. And if you've seen my review on it, I paid $230. I got the gun and a box of Arms Corps ammo. And it comes in a hard case, wood grips, plastic grips, fired casings, a lock, I think a brush. It was $209 is what I paid on sale for it. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with a revolver.
Now, I know we're talking apples and oranges here, Nagant revolver versus Arms Corps, but if you want an inexpensive, solid revolver, and I know that they make that Nagant revolver ammo, Red Army Standard makes ammo for it, so you can readily get ammo for it in most of your sporting goods stores and your gun dealers. But if you want to look at just budget price revolvers, you want to get below, say, the $300 range, depending on if you want it from a collectible standpoint, milsurp gun point, investment standpoint, because they're not going down in price. That's obvious.
Yeah.
And if you want one just to have, just for the significance of it, but if you're thinking a carry weapon or a truck gun or a get home gun or whatever, it's like, I'm kicking myself because I should have bought one of those Nagant revolvers a while ago. Yeah. So now I'm on the inexpensive revolver kind of bandwagon for myself. So, yeah. Now, what were you seeing for prices, AWAG?
There was one at Cabela's that I saw for $175.99 plus their tax and their fees that they have. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's I'd say that's fair. You could probably sell it for $300 in a year, because I think Classic was selling for what, $249 or $300 or something. Yeah. Jay, what were you going to say? I'm sorry, we cut you off there.
I'm unfamiliar with the Mosin revolver. What cartridge does that shoot, and is it expensive, and is it readily available?
Red Army Standard makes ammo for it, and I want to say it's maybe $10 a box for 20 or 25. I don't know. I saw it up on the shelf at Cabela's. It's right up there by the 9mm. It's a 762 by 38R is the ammo, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking 50 cents around.
PPU makes ammo for it that's roughly around like $11 a box, and that's breast case stuff. So I would be able to reload that.
Is that 50? Is that for 50 or for 20 or 25? Do you know?
50.
Okay. So $11. It's comparable to 9mm then for your price, out of the box. Yeah, that Classic is sold out of them. I was trying to see if I could get kind of a ballpark figure what they're going to go for, because if you go to like Gunbroker or whatever, that I just noticed that the prices tend to run high on a lot of, like, especially Nagants. Nagant prices continue to rise.
No, Mosin prices continue to rise, not Nagant.
Mosin Nagant? No, 9130s. That's what I meant to say, or 9130s. Yeah. Okay, now Jay, here we go. Best sub $300 budget pistols. All right. The PT-111 Millennium G2. All right, so Jay, you've done a lot of testing on this. What do you hate about it, and what do you like about it? Go ahead, man.
First thing I hate is that logo on the side of it. That's the first thing I hate.
You can't see it unless you're like, you know, the funny thing is my stepdad painted his in it. It looks sweet. Yeah.
So the one thing I hate about it is that it's a freaking Taurus, and another thing I hate about it is that I'm going to tell you that it's a good gun. Because I've always just not liked Taurus in general as a company. I've got burnt on their customer service, and but the PT-111 is one of those cases where, what's that saying? You know, even a blind squirrel can catch a nut, or a broken clock is right twice a day. PT-111 is a prime example of that. That even a company that makes majority crap guns are able to push out something that is good.
And that was one of the first videos I watched from you. It was like 4 years ago. You were sitting there and you were talking about saying, I have gunsmithing experience, and you take it apart and you go, this blows my mind. You're like, this PT-111 is like, you're talking about. I was like, what the hell is a PT-111? And I start watching the videos on it and stuff. I'm like, ooh, I want to check these out. And you can get them for $210, $225, $230. They were $199 after rebate last year. They had a $50 gift card they were giving away on them.
I'll tell you this, the gun that I had many years ago that you've seen the video on, prior to the one that I have now, the older one was more finely tuned, picked up. The one I just picked up, there was a lot of rough edges in it, and nothing was polished. So the finish has kind of went down since 4 or 5 years ago, but the price has too. So, and the gun still runs and functions. So I mean, it's not like you can really complain about it when the gun still works.
And then you and I have swapped out some parts on ours. What have you upgraded on yours?
The only thing I've upgraded is the Lakeline guide rod and spring.
Yeah.
Other than that, my gun is completely foam stock. I did do a trigger job video on it, and other than that, I just put some paint in the sights. Other than that, it's all OEM. Oh, I did. I also cut off the pinky extension on one of the magazines.
Oh yeah. There you go. There. So you just flattened it out right here, right? You went over and just kind of dremeled over it and made it so it kind of curves back a little bit, so it doesn't poke quite so much when you're carrying.
No, I just chopped it clean off.
Okay.
Turned it into a flat floor plate.
On mine, we're clear, by the way. I did the Trijicon sights, but again, if you do that, if you get those from Lakeline, you want to make sure that you use Loctite brand blue thread locking compound. 2 trips to the range, and the stuff they give you out of the box does not hold. Within 2 mags, I had loose sights. So, yeah, so that's definitely. Oh, Yoder's here. Yoder, yeah, we were talking about the M&P shields. We mentioned that as one of our earliest guns. With those rebates right now, I saw a 9mm at PSA for $219 after rebate. Doesn't include shipping or FFL, but yeah.
Online, I've seen them as cheap as like $289.
The 9. Oh, you mean before rebate?
Before rebate, I've seen them as cheap as $289 on the internet. So
no, PSA was showing them as $219 after rebate.
Really? $219?
Yeah. It was. I think it might be the safety model though. I don't know if you have a choice over which one you get specifically, but still, it's the idea. It's a sub $300 gun. So,
well, if you get the what's this? Brownells has them listed for, it's $284 after code L9Q on Brownells, but after you do that, you have the manufacturer rebate, and it's $209.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking at PSA right now, $214.99 after mail-in rebate on the Shield M&P Shield 9. It looks like it's with the safety. Without thumb safety, they're showing it as $214. Yeah, they have both of them at PSA. You got your SD9 VE, which is $234.99. Not to go back to guns we've already talked about, but I just want to say that, yeah. So $234 for an SD9 VE after rebate. I might have to go get my credit card here. Okay. No, let's get back here. Let's get back. Okay. So Jason's, I kind of hijacked that one. Why don't you throw another one out there? What do you recommend? It doesn't have to be the sub $300 ones. What do you want to talk about? What's another one on your list? Because we got a couple here we had mentioned that we talked about last night.
I'm gonna stick to the subject on the under sub 300 or under sub is what I wrote down.
Yeah.
So the next one on my list, which you have more experience than I do, but I still think it's a solid gun, even though I haven't fired it. The Ruger SR or 9E, full size service guns.
Yeah, that. After I bought my first PT-111 and sold it, and I've actually owned 3 PT-111s, and I bought that 9E, and I think I paid $330 for it out the door. I think it was a $300 gun with 1 mag though, and I ended up ordering 2 mags from Bud's Guns for like $34. And other than just like the slide serrations and the lack of a loaded chamber indicator, it doesn't have the pop-up chamber indicator on it like the SR9s. It's in all intents and purposes essentially an SR9. I loved mine. That was the very first YouTube video I ever did, was a tabletop accuracy test on that gun that I shot with an iPod Touch. Please, no comments. It's not a good video. But I had fun. I mean, I did nothing fancy style. I was putting the targets in front of the camera, talking about my accuracy. I shot 2 or 3 different kinds of ammo through it. They're great. In fact, I've got a family member that's considering picking one up as a range gun, bedside gun. You know, we could talk about Ruger, and you had mentioned last night, you know, you got all the safeties. You got a, you know, it does have a manual safety, and it's got a disconnect, and it's got, you know, this and that on it.
Well, they took away the one thing that I can live with, and that's the loaded round indicator. I can live with that because the gun works or not, you know. So I really would have liked to see them do away with the manual thumb safety or the disconnect, either or, to make it the budget version. And I really, I think the 9E, in my opinion, on the slide serrations and the finish, because, you know, I like my guns black. I think it's actually an improved gun and a more appealing gun than the SRs.
Well, man, it's like $150 cheaper, $100 cheaper. Even after the mags, you're still saving $50. I mean, that was the SR9 was out of my budget at the time. Now, I fired a 9C, SR9C, and I like the compact. I wish they would make a 9E compact. I'm surprised they haven't. Just shorten up the grip, shorten up the barrel, and push out a $275 carry version of the 9E. I'd buy one in a second. I mean, the finish is awesome. It's durable. The grip is nice. You can reverse the rear of your back strap. It's a gun that I think a lot of people overlook, and you don't always see a lot of them sitting out in the shops either. You tend to see your SR9s, and then it goes right into your XDs and your Glocks. But yeah, I don't know.
I think a lot of people steer clear of it because of the obnoxious safety. But I would like to see the 9E come in a compact as well. And I'd also really, really like to see the SD come in a compact, the Smith & Wesson SD9 BE. If they came in a compact, they would sell a ton of those.
I mean, I can't imagine it would cost that much to just shorten up your slide in your barrel, shorten up your molds on your grip, and get it into production. Promote it.
It would save.
You know,
it would save money, less material.
I mean, and you've already got your lower done. You've already got your guide rod spring ready to go. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, I'm just saying that with as popular as a lot of these budget guns are, I'm blown away that they don't have a carry versions of them, because so many people are jumping on the concealed carry thing now, you know? Kind of catches me off guard. So, all right, Nice Strike, what do you got on your list? What's next? Another sub $300 budget gun.
There are so many to choose from. I'm not sure which one to choose, but we're not going entirely all the way down yet, are we? What price are we at right now?
Yeah, it can, whatever, man, whatever. This is freestyle, man. Whatever whatever you want. I mean, we can go low. We can go.
I mean, I could go low, but you know, how low do we want to go?
We can go as low as sccY PX2.
No, I won't go that low.
Okay, that's coming up next, so be ready, people. All right.
All right. Since we've talked a little about revolvers, I want to make the push for. I know some people don't want a polymer revolver, but the issue is, I have gotten a chance to test out the Taurus Public Defender. You know, that's the 45 long Colt and 410.
Yep.
Because a friend of mine brought it over and we shot it in the backyard. I liked it. You know, granted, you know, the 410, it's 410. I know people think 410 is like a bitch shotgun shell cartridge, but the issue is, you know, the fact that it fits in a revolver of all things. There you go. Come on. The Taurus Public Defender It's not the greatest of guns, I'll give you that. But the issue is, if you just want something nice, you know, and you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can get them between $360, $370 right now. It's a pretty good price for something that shoots 45 long Colt and 410.
We keep Winchester PDX Defender in our Rossi Circuit Judge. That's my wife's go-to home defense gun, and that shoots those plates and those little copper balls behind them and stuff. And I mean, you fire 5 or 6 of those at 10 feet, you're gonna really do some serious damage to anybody in your way. I mean, that the 410 works with that, especially with some of those home defense loads, or some, you know, some double aught, or, you know, any specific ammo, or you can get your long Colt in like a critical defense grade of ammo. Man, you're gonna be sitting good. So
technically, really, all you're gonna need is if you can get double aught for 410. You know, you're good. You're good with that. Though, if you want to use 410 slugs, go ahead. But I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're gonna use slugs, you might as well just use 45 long Colt.
Yeah, get a hollow point, get a gold dot, or get a critical defense, or whatever. No. And you know, there is a lot of 410 personal defense ammo coming out now because of the guns like the Judge, the Circuit Judge, you know, carbine, and the Public Defender. So you've got a lot of options out there. It doesn't mean you have to use freaking birdshot in it, you know. I mean, you can keep it solid, so it's going to defend your life if you need it to. So no, that's definitely a good choice. I owned a Taurus. It was the 38 357 snubby. Maybe it was the same one as yours. Well, I think it was part of the poly protector, I think is what it is, and that was like 265, 275, which wasn't bad. The only reason why I got rid of it is because I was so inaccurate with it. I much more prefer a full size revolver for like a range gun, or I mean, I've got other semis I carry for self defense anyway. AWAG, what do you think? You got another one on the list you want to share?
This one might be a little bit more expensive, but I'm seriously looking at buying one. Probably next month, is the Steyr M9A1. Oh yeah, I've read good things about those. Good ergonomics, comfortable. Magazines are out there. If you read the comments in Classic Firearms, there's a guy that has a link that'll take you to one of the companies that actually makes the mags for it, or has mags for it, because they're a little hard to spot. Have you shot one yet? I have, actually, and it wasn't the M9, it was the M40A1. It was the 40 Smith & Wesson. But I don't like 40, so okay. They did have a 357 SIG version, but those are going for like $1,000 on Gun Buzzer. Yeah, you can even find one. You know, you were talking about doing some competition and some 3-gun and stuff like that. When I did a little come play at the range day for 3-gun, the guy instructing it was using a Glock in 40 with just iron sights, nothing fancy, no dot sight or anything, and he uses the 40 because it knocks down the plates. He doesn't have to worry about second shots when he's knocking down plates. So he goes, 40's not my choice, but for competition, it's solid. You know, he's got a lot less double taps he has to take to knock down a steel plate. So it has its place, you know. But I see what you're saying. If you prefer the 9, cheaper to shoot, you know, just as effective as a round if you get the right round for it. That's a good one. The Steyr's another one that they're a little hard. Have you found one locally at all for sale? I have not found one locally. They're on Bud's Gun Shop for like they're like $465. Okay, and I've seen them on Classic for $4. They'll get 1 or 2 in from now and then. They'll bring them in. So cool. All right, Jay, what do you think? You got another one on the list? We can start going bottom of the barrel. And I don't want to say bottom of the barrel. Let's just say super budget friendly. There we go. Super budget friendly. Sub $200, $250 and below.
Do we want to get on the Sky subject?
You know, it's like that upcoming exam I have when I turn 45. Let's just get it out of the way.
Because you know, I have my experience with the Sky as well too. So
yeah, talk about it. What happened to you?
Okay, so I've never had any interest in the Sky from day one. The gun just don't feel good to me. The trigger, I think, is terrible. I think it's ridiculous that the front sight is smaller than the rear sights. There's so many things about the gun that just don't appeal to me. But with it being as popular as a gun, I kept getting a lot of requests to do a review on one. So I reached out to my friends, my local friends here, and a good friend of mine, he actually owned one. And when we had the gunsmith shop, he actually brought it into us because there was a crack in the slide right above the firing pin. So we mailed it back to Sky. They fixed it, and I'm using air quotes here. They fixed it and sent the gun back to him. So a year later, I asked him to borrow it to do a review. Well, I thought it would be pretty wise of me to clean the gun, inspect it before I took it to the range. And prior to doing that, inside the chamber, I actually found a crack inside the chamber. Now, with that said, he contacted Sky like he should. It's his gun, and they were quick to send him out a new barrel. Now, he was happy about it, but if I look at the glass half empty and the glass half full. So on one hand, it was nice that Sky jumped on it and sent him a new barrel. But on the other side of it, they were quick to send out him a new barrel.
Like a week. I mean, their turnaround time is usually a week on replacement parts. They don't let it fester. They'll get out there and send you the part right away. Mags.
Now, let me ask you this. If you called Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Glock, if you called any of the major manufacturers and you told them that you had a crack in the barrel, what's going to be their response?
They'd probably send out a freaking recall. I would imagine they would jump on it. Like they would maybe issue a warning to owners to look for it, or
Well, they're going to probably send you a packing slip, and you're going to send the gun in. They're not just going to ship you a barrel.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of disturbing, in my opinion, that they shipped out a new barrel because they acted like it wasn't any big news. I mean, they said, okay, well, if you said there's a crack in the barrel, there's a crack in the barrel, and we'll send you a new one.
The other one you heard about the cracks in the frame, back where the rear frame pins are. That I'm on my second set of frame pins, and I've had to glue them in so they don't walk out anymore. And they haven't. They're not walking out. And if they do, I mean, this gun's going back to the factory on Monday anyway. So, Stan, if you're watching out there at SS Pawn, it's coming to you. It's going to be sent back in.
Now, with all that said, like a lot of people think that I just downright hate the company. I don't hate the company. They're an American company. It's American jobs. The gun is 100% made here. So, I would like to see them succeed because of that. But also, they're never going to succeed if guys like me and you don't speak the truth.
Yeah.
About them.
And I daily carried one for 3 years, not at work, obviously, because I can't. But, I mean, and that was my go-to gun. And then I started having FTEs with it. I'm like, well, this is a little bit scary. That second round is jamming up my gun on 2 or 3 mags with good ammo. Wow, what would happen if I need to use it on multiple assailants? Can I trust this? I posted the videos, and then immediately I had a flood of videos, guys saying, I put 3,000 rounds through mine, not a problem. I put 2,000 rounds through mine. I'm like, okay, great. I'm happy for you. It blows my mind that they're that inconsistent.
Yeah, that's their gun. That's not yours.
Yeah, I go, okay, but this, I'm just saying that, and I've seen their manufacturing videos, and you look at the gun, it's not crappy. I mean, under the slide, the finish, the materials, I think they're using the right stuff. I just don't know what the deal is. Are there parts they're cheaping out on that's causing issues?
What's the adage? Mileage may vary.
Basically, I mean, it's just and it scares you to think I've got this permit, I've got this ammo, I've got this gun. People have to use their concealed carry weapons all the time, and if I got to use it, it'll probably go off for the first shot. I've never had it not fire on the first shot, but then it jams on the second. If I miss or there's multiple threats, I'm screwed. I can clear it. It's probably going to take me a moment to process the fact that it's now jamming. I now got to clear it, and I now need to try to get the gun recharged and ready to go. And that I can't rely on that.
Yeah, and like my experience, like me and you talked about it. The fan base for the Skies is they're serious people. I mean, I had to turn my comments off because I was actually getting like threats. Where like we was joking about last night where I told you I thought a whole bunch of people were going to show up with pitchforks and fire outside my house and drag me out to the middle of the court and like execute me. I mean, it was bad. But what they were trying to do was they were trying to intimidate me to take that video down. But like I just said, if it's not for guys like me and you that actually tell the truth in our videos, the constructive criticism, the company's never going to change. Speak the truth about the products. That's all there is to it. That's our job as a YouTuber, is to review and diagnose if there's an issue and call it out.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, I've never had a gun that I've actually gotten angry with because of its performance. That's the first time. I was expecting it to have problems in my last video I did on it, and it did. I was like, okay, we'll see what happens, and it wasn't even the new mag that caused problems. After that happened, I thought, okay, I got 2 mags that have always been reliable, did the same thing it's always done. It's going back.
So with the sCCY, your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because even after I will say this, after I got the barrel and stuff put in, I put almost 150 rounds through that gun of just cheap whatever I had laying around, and it performed. So the performance on the one that I had on my one off example, the gun ran. There was no feeding issues, no ejection issues, no nothing with that new barrel. I was not going to fire that gun with that barrel with that crack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that said, yeah, there was a crack in the barrel, whatever. But with the new barrel, the gun did perform. So, I mean, that's...
Yeah. All right. Nice Strike, you got another one for us. Maybe one more final gun you want to mention?
All right. I'm going to let you mention that other one, but...
yeah, that'll be my last one, and then I got a viewer request to show off something before we go. So
I'm gonna go lower end, and yeah, this is probably bottom of the barrel. So don't shoot the messenger. But have you guys ever used one of those Heritage Rough Riders?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
The Heritage Rough Rider. It's a 22 single action revolver.
Yep.
I've used one of them. You can get them. I think the cheapest online are like $130. You might be able to get
the 22 mag cylinder. I think they're rolling around 200, 175. Yeah.
But for just the regular 22 long rifle single action revolver, you can get just the base one for like $130 off of the internet. And I'll be honest, I have been seriously considering either getting one of those, or getting a just like a 22 rifle, like a Marlin or something.
Yeah, no, those are awesome guns. I got a cousin.
And I know we're talking handguns, so I'm going to say specifically, if I get one, if you want a nice cheap, a nice inexpensive revolver that works as far as 22, look at the Rough Riders. They're
accurate too.
Even never enough ammo supports the Rough Riders. He's got one. That's what he uses to do his desk pops.
Oh, he's done a desk pop?
He's done a desk pop on the after chat.
Oh, so it would pay to be hanging out in these podcasts, guys.
Yeah.
Were we supposed to tell people about that, or was that going to be?
Oh, no. We're supposed to tell them so that they keep donating to him so he can do an on-air desk pop.
Ah, okay. Because I was going to say, I thought maybe you'd want to save that for after he moves.
He mentioned he did too. So
okay. I didn't know if it had popped up or not. I wasn't going to say anything about it because I about wet myself when I watched that. So I think I peed a little actually when I saw that happen. So look at AC, he's shocked. He's like, "What? He did?"
Yeah, you have to be in the after chat for it.
Yeah,
in order to see it. So
it was pretty cool.
But he had been drinking one too many shots of vodka, and he's like, "All right, guys, you want to see desk pop?" We're like, "Sure, yeah." It's like, okay, so tell people on the YouTube side that it does happen, and he did do a desk pop right there because he lives out in the middle of nowhere in Texas.
It just boom, and I was like, "Whoa!" We're like, wait, he's laughing, he's smiling, he pulls the hander back. I'm like, that ain't loaded.
Then he picks up the camera and brings the camera to show us on his screen. He's like, "I forgot to pull the screen up."
Oh, it was funny. We're like, "Oh my god!" Yeah. So maybe he'll give us one. Maybe he'll give us one before he moves.
Yeah.
One more.
So I got to throw in on the Heritage.
Yeah,
go for it.
Okay, so you know how they come either with the 22 cylinder or the 22 mag cylinder. You can get the combo kit. If you have any interest in the 22 mag cylinder, definitely get the combo, because I've sold a lot of those single ones with just the LR cylinder, and the guys are saying when they order the new ones that they don't fit right and they have to ship them in to have it gunsmith fit. So if you're looking at getting a Heritage and you have any interest in getting that 22 mag cylinder, go ahead and get the combo. You're not saving any money. Actually, if you got to send the gun in, then you're going to be without 100% free. But I've just trying to throw that out there I've heard several people say that the little star key on the back of the cylinder has to be filed down in order for cylinder to turn correctly. So
it's pre-fitted
something to keep in mind.
When you order a combo, they pre-fit it before it ships, so you're not going to have to do any machining or send it in or any gunsmithing on it.
But I just figured I'd mention it because I've used one before. A friend of mine has one, and they are great little 22s.
They're a hell of a gun. They are.
All right. Okay, now we're going to move into super duper low budget price guns. So let me start it up. Jimenez JA9. AWAG, do you own one of these beauties? Have you ever owned a JA9?
I have not.
Okay, don't. Jay, what would you say? People have had really bad luck with them. I have not. Okay, how many rounds did you put through yours, and what kind of luck have you had with it? I'm gonna say right now, I'm not gonna recommend it because of the inconsistencies in the quality, but what would you say?
I would have to agree with you on that. Now, the one that I had, and like I said, this is just a one-off example. I had really good luck with mine. I probably had and this ain't a lot of rounds, especially for me, but I had about 300, 400 rounds through it. So that's pretty low on the totem pole for round count with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did have, the only issue that I had was you're not supposed to fire hollow points in the gun manual, but I'm kind of one of them people that are like, well, now I really want to fire hollow points through it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And what happened was it kicked back really hard, and I had some like unburnt gunpowder flash me in the face, and that was enough for me, and I just went back to full metal jackets. It could have been an ammo issue, it could have been the guns issue, it could have been a lot of things that could have been a fault for that, but it was enough for me to say, okay, I'll just run full metal jackets with it. And eventually, you know, how we rise on the totem pole of guns, you know, that was one of my guns that I bought back when I didn't have the funds and I wasn't established and stuff. And I kind of wanted to buy it as an experiment, and it did good, but you know, eventually I got rid of it, and you know, a buddy of mine actually owns it now, and he's still shooting it. So I mean, you know, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, he's still shooting the gun, he still owns it. So, but I've heard a lot of horror stories about him too. So.
Yeah, Matt from Never Enough Ammo, he said the very first shot he put through his, and I can't remember if it was a 380 or a 9, it literally blew the slide off the gun, his first shot at the range. And so after that, when I told him I had one, I made a video on, you know, like 5 reasons to buy a J9. He's like, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, no, I did on video, I did 100 and 150 and I had no problems. And I mean, I would consider keeping it. I did eventually sell it. I sold that, and I sold my H&R partner pump to raise funds for my 3-gun setup. I had no problem with it. I'd keep it around as a truck gun or a cabin gun. As long as it runs, if you have issues with it, you know, then send it in and get it fixed. If you can do 200 or 300 rounds with no problems, you should be home free.
I'll be honest. I want a JA9 just for the novelty of it, and maybe just as like a range toy.
Yeah.
Not for so. I'm not gonna try and save my life with it. That's what the 1911 is for. But you know, I just like the factor that it's an inexpensive small gun that literally anyone can buy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
With all that said, you know, when you get into the cheaper guns and also the expensive guns, you know, if you're going to get into a firearm period, you need to run it to make sure it works. There's just no getting around, especially with your cheaper guns, because it is hit or miss. You could absolutely get one that is fantastic, and you could get one that's a turd. So, you know, you definitely run the gun, make sure it works correctly with the ammo you plan on using.
Yeah, that's a big one. Nice try, Kev. You had a JA9 or a JA22. I have a JA22 and I love it, man.
I said I want to get one just because I haven't found any for sale in the area right now. I want to get one just for the as I said, the novelty of it, because it's one of those guns that it's funny to laugh at like the sky, but it's also kind of fun to shoot if you're just shooting regular full metal jacket at it.
Dude, mine was accurate as anything when I had mine at the range. I had no trouble. I mean, and you got that fixed barrel and blowback style. I mean,
as I said, if I need something for self-defense, you know, I have the 92S. I've got my 1911, which is, you know, 45, which I probably used I used the 45 before the 92S just because of the factor that 45 is better.
Yeah.
Anybody that says otherwise is trying to sell you something.
Oh no, I hear you. The J9, I'd almost consider maybe buying a used one that's had some rounds put through it, just so I know that it's already been maybe broken in a little bit. And if it has problems, I can send it back. Because you got the lifetime guarantee on it. So
and for all those naysayers saying no, 9mm or 40 is better, all I'm gonna say is the Germans had 9mm and we had 45, and we won World War II.
It's a good point.
Anyways, enough of that. But yeah. J9, while don't use it for self-defense unless you absolutely positively need to. I'm not going to say it's a good idea, but if that's all you got, that's all you got. I'd say that Heritage Rough Rider is probably better for self-defense.
Yeah, 22 mag coming out of a long barrel like that, or get some 22 Stingers from CCI.
or
50
that over the Jimenez. But if you want to use the Jimenez, go for it. But
$50 more, you can get a PT 111 than the J9 too. And let's see, AY, do you have any experience with the J9 at all? Have you fired one or had a chance to handle one in the store or tested one out?
There's one at my local gun shop. I think it's the 22 one, and I looked at it. It's like this chrome color, and I'm like,
okay.
Chrome.
I have a JA-22, and you're good. Mine fires fine. I just run the federal match grade $300 or 300 round bricks, 325 round bricks that they sell, and you're good for about 125, 150 rounds. And after that, the carbon buildup can cause some misfires. But I took mine to the range and had great luck with it. I had no trouble with it. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't use it as a defensive carry. I just kept it as a fun little plinker, just play around with. Back in the good old days when you could still buy 22 LR. And I'm cool with those, like $79, $99 is all I paid for it. So, yeah.
See, but in my case, with a really cheap gun, since I live in New Jersey and I have to pay $50 for a permit every time I go to buy a handgun, it doesn't really offset the cost. I mean, that's why I wanted to get a P226 and 357 SIG. I mean, that's a $1,200 gun that I got it for. And I mean, the $50, it's not that much of a difference with $50 on a $1,200 gun. Now, if I'm getting like a $150 gun, that's already up to a $200 gun. I can get something.
Spring an extra 100, get something more full size that comes with more accessories or more mags, or is more, I don't blame you for that. Oh man, tell you what. Jay, do you have any more on your list you want to mention at all? I got a viewer request to show off a firearm here I featured in a video, so I'm gonna have to grab that in a minute here. Anything else?
Well, I mean, there's obviously there's a lot of guns that we can go over, and we could be here all day. But like when we were talking about the home defense or like defense for like with the Jimenez and stuff like that, in my opinion, like the hot point. And firearm, those are guns, in my opinion, that you can buy and throw it in your truck or throw it in your glove box, or if you're going camping and you just want to take a cheap little gun with you just to have something in your backpack. I agree with Night Strike. I would never fully depend my life on one of those guns, but at the same time, if it's a secondary cash gun and you need to grab it, as long as it goes bang and it does. And I can't, but I tell you what, if something was to happen to me and I went to go reach for my Glock or my Smith & Wesson, and for whatever reason I couldn't get to it, and I reached in my glove box and I pulled out a Jimenez, I'd be happy as hell to have that thing in my hand.
Right.
Any gun's better than no gun, unless it's the Kaka PX2.
Well, here's the thing: the high points. Well, yes, they look ugly. They look like somebody put a nice gun and threw it in a blender. They're heavy as shit. But the issue is the high points have one thing going for them. They work. Okay?
Yeah, they do.
So I would say, you got your high points and your Kel-Tecs, and while they're not great, they don't look aesthetically pleasing, but the issue is both will work and are probably better for your home defense for your defense than a Jimenez. But if the Jimenez is all you have, then use it, but know that you should probably get a better firearm.
Well, and then you know the Jimenez and the High Point come in at the same price point. So it's you know, if I was sitting there with $200 in my pocket and the gun counter guy said, "Well, you have this Jimenez or you have the High Point," well,
I'd buy the High
Point.
Point.
Everybody heard the High Point, so I would probably go with the High Point.
Yeah, well, but that's only because High Points have a better a better reputation for reliability so far as always pulling a trigger. It's not a great gun, but it always fires.
Yeah, I had a 45. That was awesome. Jay, what would you suggest to somebody buying a High Point? What do they need to look for when they get it? Because you've done so much with the C9s. Well, what would you say?
You know, the 45, you don't really have to do anything. From my experiences, the 45 just runs. It's big, it's ugly, but it just runs. Now, the 40, on the other hand, I've had 2 of them, and I've tried to fix them, and it just eventually got to the point where my ammo cost exceeded the value of the gun, and I opted out.
Yeah.
And never went back.
So go 45.
Go 45. Go big or go home.
Right.
The 9mm, which is the one I currently own, and currently is what started my channel. That gun, the only issue with that gun is the magazine springs. The magazine springs will wear out about 400 rounds into the gun, into firing the gun. And a real quick fix is just to pull the magazine apart and stretch the spring, and you'll be good to go again. Or just do like I do, and I'm buying the Ghost Ink 15% spring for the Glock 43 mag springs out in the High Point magazines, and it seems to be working. The 380 is a good one too, but you know, like I said in my one video, you know, when you have a 380 and a 9 in the same frame, why would you go with the 380? Same thing with the 40 and the 45. They're in the same frame gun, so why would you go with 40?
Yeah. I love the 45. That's just that thing. And if you run out of ammo, it makes a nice club, or makes a good hammer if you don't have one around the house.
Well,
it does.
You've seen my videos on that gun, and when I went into a lot of those torture tests, I said right in the beginning that the High Point ain't gonna win. I'm going to win this torture test, and I'm going to stump this gun, or I'm going to break it, or no matter what, I'm going to win. And for the life of me, that gun just kept going. I don't know what else you can say about it. I mean, I had dirt and mud in the barrel, and I pushed it out with a cable lock and chambered ammunition that had dirt all over it, and the damn gun just fired. I mean, I can
the motor oil test was the classic right there. That one, that was awesome, man. It's like, now that is how you lubricate a firearm. You just, let's pour down the barrel, let's pour down the magazine well. Was that straight 30 weight?
You know, it was. I can't remember. Just some Walmart ammo that oil that I bought, but I can tell you, that video, that sucked to me, because, dude, I had oil all over me, and it stunk to all high hell. I mean, if you imagine doing an oil change on your car and you had that dirty, stinky oil all over you, that's what I dealt with for the rest of the day.
Okay, next time, take the gun.
You're not using the right oil, because I love the smell of oil.
Pull the plug out. Pull the plug out, and then drain all the oil on the High Point. Right at the range, just do your oil change right at the range, and then just shake it off, and then just go shoot it. I want to see what happens.
I would say instead of motor oil, try
oil change stuff.
Instead of motor oil, try rear diff oil, that 70 weight stuff.
Ooh,
now that's a good idea. Slow the slide down a smidge. All right, Night Strike, you mentioned. Why don't you go and share any experience you had with High Points? I got to grab a carbine here real quick that I want to show you that John wanted to see. Was going to talk about it for a minute, and then maybe we can start to wrap things up. So, can you buy me 1 minute here?
Yeah, sure.
All right, thanks, man.
You know, another good gun is I'm not going to go on the whole High Point thing, but another good gun is. Have you seen those? Jay, you've probably seen them. Those little mini pocket revolvers.
Are you talking about the North American Arms?
Yes.
Yeah.
You've seen those mini pocket revolvers are like in 22 and I think a couple odd calibers as well.
I see them all the time.
Gun Websites has an entire collection of those things. But the issue is, I've seen those, and I like those mini pocket revolvers. They apparently they're good, they're reliable. But I haven't used one, but I've seen them. And I want to try one, just because it's a little mini pocket revolver.
Well, yeah, and like with that, that's kind of how when we was talking about the Taurus Judge, it's just a second kind of cool. Is it practical for self-defense? Probably not, but it's kind of aesthetically, you know what I mean? I think they're awesome, personally.
What does it get, like three shots in a pocket revolver? If the 22, it's like 3 shots, right?
Actually, I think it might be more. I'll check when I go into work tonight because we sell them there. But I'm wanting to say it's like 5.
Yeah, but those little pocket revolvers, I wouldn't. Honestly, even if it was 22 LR, for as you said, if your main gun runs out, I wouldn't mind having one of those on hand just in my pocket in case, I absolutely needed it. It would be there for me.
Yeah, just because
it'll fit in your pocket, undetectable.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, excuse me, I think they make belt buckles in there. So, I don't think it would be like carrying an extra gun. I think it would be if you got like that belt buckle or you got that little holster that they make for it. Yeah, I mean it's better than the cops on the phone, like I said.
Yep. What do you guys All right, so here's. Oh, go ahead, AY.
And what do you guys think about police trade-ins as economic kind of handguns?
Yeah, I'd buy one in a heartbeat. If they're only used once a year for qualifying, or they're just a daily carry gun, you can deal with the holster wear on them and stuff. I'm
going to throw a technicality in there. All the Beretta 92S that are for sale right now are all Italian police trade-ins. So they were all used by the Italian police at one point in time, and they were sold off or sold back to Beretta, and Beretta just surplused them out to another country. Ours.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I've seen Shields for Shield 40s for like $275 or $300 online. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I hate to be the Glock fanboy out of everybody here, but that Glock.
There's always one of you guys.
Well, I mean,
fucking Glock tards.
Tupperware gun.
Jay, I should have prompted you on that. We should have warned you about the Glock chatter, but you go right ahead, Jay. You do you.
So
you do you.
When I started out, I didn't like Glocks, but the more that I started getting more into, I just want a self-defense gun. I don't care about bells and whistles. The more I started leaning towards Glock, but what I'm getting at here is, I think we all can vouch, love them or hate them, the Glocks run, and they run for a very long time. And what I'm getting at is,
just don't leave them on your dashboard.
Yeah, that was the old gens. That was Gen 1, Gen 2.
No, that happened to that's Jimmy James here on Gun Channel.
But
that happened. He left. I think he said he had a Gen 3. Wasn't it?
Huh.
He had a Gen 3 and he left it on his dashboard. It's like 110 degrees outside because he lives in Arizona, and it got a little melty.
You can't get past physics on some things, guys. It's polymer, man. It's gonna 300.
Here's the thing, okay, so what I'm getting at with all this is, I did a video of a family member that bought a Gen 2 Glock 17 police trade-in. And, with that said, that gun was shot a lot. But it still was like brand new. I mean, it was worn out and stuff. And he put a new recoil spring and a new firing pin spring for under $15. And now essentially he has internally a brand new gun. So getting into a police trade-in of any caliber or any make, you replace a recoil spring and a couple other springs in it, and you essentially have a new gun again. So
yeah.
And he got into that Glock. He got in that Glock for $250.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you go wrong with $250 for a Glock 17?
I'm not too big. Well, I have mentioned a couple polymer guns in our chat. It's just I'm not a big fan of polymer guns in general because plastic or polymer in itself, it has problems where if you go to like Alaska during the winter, it's gonna crack. But or if you go to Arizona during the extreme hot summer and leave it out in the sunlight, it's gonna melt. I don't, so remember that there is a temperature range for polymer guns. So that being in mind, watch where you are.
Well, that could be one of those examples, like you said. Your miles may vary on that too, because there's a very popular YouTuber, which I'm not going to say his name because some people hate him or love him, but he did a 1,000-round torture test on his Glock 19, and he literally melted the plastic guide rod and it shot out the front of the gun, and that damn thing kept running the whole time. So. And I think we've all probably seen that video. If you haven't, I can send you the links to it.
Yeah, New Jersey State Police just recently traded in some of their old 229s and 250s, the P250s. And you can get them for I think like $310.
Oh, wow.
And they look in fantastic condition.
Nice.
Some of them even have the New Jersey State Police little patch kind of deal engraved into the slides of the 229s.
Speaking of polymer guns, this is a little show and tell. John had requested to see the gun that I did a cleaning video on last night, so I got to show this off real quick. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before. This is the Feather USA 45 carbine. It's kind of a takedown model. And these were made, they started making these in 95, and then Feather went out of business and turned into Feather USA. And then these originally used Uzi mags. If you go to Military Arms Channel, he's got a video on the 9. And this one's actually chambered for 45. But this one is actually, in 08, they changed the production to accept Glock mags. So if you can find one of these, I don't know what you're going to pay for them, because you might find 1 or 2 for sale online. Clear, by the way. And you take your Glock mag and put it in there. You're basically good to go. I got like 6 mags for this thing. It's going to be an expensive range test. Now, here's the cool part about it. And everything is steel except for these like little pins that you use to keep the rear receiver nut in the front barrel nut on. These are polymer. The trigger group is the trigger itself is actually polymer also. Little handguards polymer. The rails are steel. And then what's kind of cool about this, let's see here. That's kind of wedged up in there. All right, hang on. There we go. It also comes with, you got this barrel shroud that goes over it. So when I take it to the range, I'm going to have this over the barrel. Kind of looks like a suppressor. Then here's the kicker. This is cool. This all came in the case that it shipped with. You got this. You can put this on the rear. So this is actually an Israeli-made buttstock A2 style. I don't know if this is commercial spec or mil spec or its own spec, but this is going to go on in place of the little wire guard on the back. So it's going to be all tacked out when I take it to the range. So, but yeah, this is
Travis has to be tactical.
No, not always, but if there's stuff in the case, I'm going to definitely use it. I'm just going to use iron sights because I could put my $15 Bushnell on the top of there and I could shoot.
Remember to put a foregrip on it.
What's that?
Remember to put one of those foregrips on it too. You got to go if you got to put the buttstock on it, put the foregrip on it.
I'll take the foregrip off my AMD 63 and put it on here and just have a little bit of fun with it. I could be putting these little angle iron sights on here. I could have a flashlight on this side. And if you go to Feather USA's website, they show a Mall Ninja version of this for $1,800. But it's weird. You go to Feather's website, the company that makes this, like Feather Industries, Feather USA, and their website, it doesn't look like it's been updated in a decade, yet they have a message that says that they're going to be going back into production. They're going to make these. Yeah, I was like, okay. And for parts, there's no manuals listed on the webpage for support. They do still offer warranty repairs through another third party, and you can get your trigger group remanufactured on that, and they do make a remanufactured rear buffer, but it's there. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've been able to find on it. They have a short history on their website, so I have no idea how the thing's even going to shoot. I mean, it's clean. I completely took it down and cleaned it up. So, John, you're welcome. That was a viewer request. So I just wanted to throw that out there. You guys have any experience with anything like this at all? No?
Nope.
It looks like a stent gun or a grease gun or it's blowback action.
Not the feathers, but the what was it? The Tech 9s.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
I missed a chance on getting one for $400 the other day.
What are they going for now?
I don't know what they're going for now. I haven't looked,
Okay.
but there was one for sale, and I was the second guy who messaged him. The first guy got it.
Man. Yeah. So no, it'll be interesting.
And I know the Tech 9s are not great guns, but the issue is, I wanted one just because of the factor that it's one of those iconic guns from like the 80s and early 90s that just kind of caused controversy.
Yeah, it's a second kind of cool.
Yeah, there you go. That pretty much sums up that one. Yeah, it'd be kind of nice just to have one, or like a mini Uzi or something. It's one of those guns you used to see in the detective TV shows from back in the day and stuff.
Yeah.
And
this one had the barrel shroud foregrip.
Oh, ooh, nice.
And
fancy.
Back when they were still legal, and it is legal to own it and whatnot, and I just wanted it just because it had the barrel shroud foregrip which was legal at the time, so it was grandfathered.
Oh, so you don't have to like SPR it or anything
like
that?
No, you don't. And that's why I wanted that one, because cool factor there.
Trying to see if I can find you one, but I'll tell you what.
Don't worry about it.
All right. So, yeah. All right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So, AWAG, I want to thank you for joining me. Jay, thank you so much for giving us your time this morning. I'm sorry we went a little bit longer than an hour, but there's always so much to talk about. Nice Strike. AWAG, you want to plug anything before we go? You got anything you want to say?
Other than check out my channel, not the old channel, the new channel.
Yeah.
That's just about it.
Get that super done so we can go for a little test drive, all right?
All it needs is a clutch right now.
That's not okay. It's a weekend project, man. There you go. If you're in Nebraska, you can bring it over to my garage. We could do it this afternoon, man.
Yeah, a little bit of a road trip.
Yeah, a couple days. Jay, what do you want to say? Anything before you head out?
Not really, man. Just if you haven't checked out my channel or these other guys' channel here, definitely go subscribe and help support the small YouTubers. Help us grow. And like always, I'll say my catchphrase: be performance driven and demand greatness.
And you see that in your videos, man. I've seen such an evolution of your videos over the last 3 or 4 years. It's just they're fun to watch, and they're up there. And it blows my mind that you're putting out content. I mean, I think your subscriber base is going to keep going up as people discover how cool the videos are. I mean, I watch them. I love them. I really like the disassembly videos. I'm kind of big on those personally because you learn so much from them. So yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing. That's awesome. Night Strike, what do you want to say?
Go check out my channel on YouTube, Night Strike 1. Just search for me, Night Strike, and the number 1. You'll find me.
Night Strike with a Y.
Yeah, remember it's Night Strike with a Y. So don't miss Hit or Miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock. Travis is always there.
Oh, have a good time. Yeah, Hit or Miss is always a fun. We different topics, different discussions every week. So there we go. Let me see if there's anything else in the chat at all for YouTube. Let's see. SS Pawn. Stan, if you keep loaning me firearms, I have no choice but to keep making videos. So twist my arm on that one, buddy.
I wish I had a pawn shop guy that would loan me guns. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, me too.
It's cool, man. I've been waiting for it to stop raining. It's been raining for 2 or 3 days now. Just to get out to the range, I got a Ruger Precision 308 I want to take out, and I'm not going to sit out in the muck. I'll hunt out in crappy weather, but I can't stand sitting at the range out, not moving around, trying to accuracy test a firearm.
You're going to love that Ruger. I've had experience.
Have you fired the Precision? Yeah.
I have. A good friend of mine actually had one. And I'm going to tell you, man, that trigger on that Ruger Precision is like glass. I mean, it just breaks clean.
I think it says 1.5 pounds, 1.5 to 2 pounds. I think is what it's set at once you start to push back on the safety built into the trigger. Right. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to taking it out. It's going to be cool. And I mean, I'm watching videos online where they're doing 1 MOA. They're hitting stuff out to 1,000 yards with it, no problems. 800 yards. It's pretty sweet, man. I think it's gonna be cool.
I've shot. Being in the gunsmith business, I've shot a lot of different triggers. I've shot a lot of different triggers that were, trigger jobs and everything. And I'm telling you, that Ruger Precision out of the box is probably one of the best triggers I've ever felt in my life. I mean, it's up there with like some of your really, really expensive triggers and your really expensive gunsmiths that do trigger jobs. I mean, it's for out of the box. I don't think you can get a better trigger. That's just my opinion.
From a value perspective, you know, you could score one for what? I mean, I know it sounds like a lot of money, but you're going to be getting a gun that'll do 1,000 yards, 800 or 1,000 yards, one MOA for $1,200 bucks.
$1,249 is what we sell them for.
Okay. I mean, you know, you got to put your own glass on there, but that can get you in those long range competitions. You know, you can put back money back for a little while and go pick one up, and you're not in it for $2,000 or $3,000. You're just shooting 308.
And they're also making them. They're making them in several calibers. We have the 308 and the 6.5 pre-mold. So
yeah, the videos I was watching was on the 6.5, and that's an amazing round. Very cool round.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that Ruger precision rifle. I
okay,
really
go ahead.
Don't like them. I got to handle one. Me being machinist, was looking at how they machined the bolt, and it just kind of felt rough to me. It, like some of the, you know how when they put the things on the lathe to get that perfect, it's like you can see the lines that the tool made on the bolt, and it just kind of felt weird when I racked the bolt. Now I will say that the trigger is awesome, but my F-class rifle that I use is the Savage Model 10, and I spent like $692 on it, and I put a $300 scope on it. I can easily get out to 700 yards with that, no problem.
That's another solid performer too. Yeah, Savager. That's I've always had good luck with their rifles. I've owned several.
Now, I will say this with like I was talking about charging the bolt. I noticed with just playing around with the one at the store. If you have the magazine in the gun and it's an empty mag, obviously because it's in my store. When you're sending that bolt home, that magazine is actually riding the follower in the magazine and giving it a weird feeling. If you pull the mag out and do your charging of the bolt, feel. And also when you're doing it with ammunition in the gun, it's a different feel. But I can relate to him on that one. It did feel funny at first until I realized it was just a magazine follower.
Yeah.
Might have to look back on that.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, hey, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. You guys out in the chat on the gun channel side and the YouTube side, thank you for watching, guys. I'll try to do this on Saturdays when we're not on the road, and if we are on the road, I might have a little mobile setup that I'll be running, so we'll see what we can do. Every week, try to talk about something different, and we'll go from there. So, all right, so there we go. Guys, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you joining in. Any final words at all? Anything before we go?
Thank you, Travis, for the invite.
No problem, Wag. It's awesome, man. Jay? Yep. Nice strike, man. Thanks, you guys are awesome. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. All right, all you out in the chat, you guys have a great weekend, and we will talk to you guys soon, all right? Okay, bye.
Later.